Hello everyone, this is Rob Farker here, Game Master, podcaster and a variety of other things besides. I am recording this video as something of a spur of the moment thing because I want to ask for help, and I get the feeling that if I step away and busy myself with other things and come back to it later, it won't be quite, I don't know if coherent is the right word or necessarily organised, but there'll be enough distance from it that maybe I won't be able to put it out as well. I have just cancelled a session of Starfinder that I had scheduled for a couple of hours' time with some good friends. And I cancelled it because we'd had it scheduled for a couple of weeks. I was trying to make it a regular thing. In the meantime, I have done virtually no prep for it. I have struggled with it. Half the time it feels like, in between other things that I've got going on, the idea of sitting down with the Starfinder core rulebook and my PDF of the Alien Archive and just trying to work out what comes next. What is the next thing that I should throw at my player characters? In theory, I've already got something. I left the session on a bit of a cliffhanger, but still the situation where I left my players in, which is that they'd just broken into a facility and gotten caught doing it, and there are a bunch of guys pointing guns at them. It's a neat little situation. It implies a whole bunch of things, and yet trying to work out the stats and the motivations of any characters who might be involved, essentially kind of whole cloth. I don't know what it is. It's just felt like too much hard work for a hobby, if you know what I mean. And this is something that I have struggled with for ages when it comes to RPGs. I mean, if you'll forgive me for a moment, let me just reach over here to this pile behind me. I love these huge chunky books that I have that, are kind of, in some cases, what role-playing games are a little bit about. I love buying them, I love reading through them, I don't know whether it's so much the ideas, but just the things that they sort of switch on in your head, the little chunks of story that they kind of inspire. Yet when it comes to trying to entertain a bunch of people for a few hours as a game master, all the expected prep that's necessary, the working out of the characters, the necessary statting up in games like the ones I just showed you, Deathwatch, which I've been talking about. Pardon me, let me actually turn that to a camera a bit better. Where are we? Pathfinder, which I bought a few years back and tried out. I keep turning this the wrong way, I've just got to get used to where the camera is. And most recently, of course, Starfinder, which I absolutely fell in love with because of its whole D&D future angle, I suppose. And they excite me with their basic concepts. I like the idea of Deathwatch, of letting my players be ultra-powerful space marines, giving them the best toys. I like the idea, I guess, of Pathfinder and Starfinder, of the party of adventurers, the people who venture out beyond the bounds of civilization to see what's out there, who start at level 1, could potentially go all the way up to level 20. I love the ideas in it. When it comes to executing on them for a session, I don't know, it almost feels like the idea engine that's meant to exist up here in my skull, it keeps grinding to a halt. I am not sure what it is. I have heaps and heaps of notes sitting in Evernote, and whenever I sit down to try and brainstorm a little bit, it just feels like I keep coming up with the same general high-level stuff, and I don't know how to kind of turn it into a bunch of characters who will want things, the kind of characters that will both entertain me as, a semi-actor and plotter, and my players as well, who will be interesting enough that they will sort of spark off the characters that my players have created, and they'll be coming up with all kinds of interesting ideas of off-the-cuff interactions to be having with them. I am not sure what it is. I have thought for a while that maybe the RPG Fate would be the kind of thing that I'd maybe want to be looking for, because from my reading of it, it does inspire, it does seem to have its base, that idea of playing on the fly and coming up with ideas as a group rather than me kind of having to go away as a GM and quietly come up with all this stuff and hope that it engages the players. I don't know, maybe I'm just not good at doing things in isolation, or at least I can do the basics in isolation. I can do things that don't require much thought, but when it comes to higher level stuff, project kind of stuff that doesn't have a sort of immediate, okay, I can empty the dishwasher and see that that's done, if you know what I mean. Maybe I need to have a bit of a brains trust or something where I can sort of bounce ideas off and talk with people about. I tried it at one point just recently with a good mate of mine who lives in the States, Pierre. If this goes up on Facebook, you'll be able to find him online. And I don't know, maybe it's my undiagnosed Asperger that people keep telling me that I have. My struggles with social cues and things like that, and maybe the introvert in me that needs to draw more off of, I don't know, I feel like I'm rabbiting on here. So what I'm really trying to do, what I'm trying to get at with this video, which thankfully is only coming up on 7 minutes, so I haven't rabbited on for too long, is to ask for help. I hope I've explained the problem well enough that you folks out there who've been in the tabletop RPG hobby, or maybe you haven't and just recognise something familiar in this struggle that I keep having, this thing that keeps making me recruit people into playing games, and then a few sessions later, just after feeling like I'm walloping my idea maker against a brick wall over and over again, throw my hands up in not disgust, not desperation, I suppose frustration, and say, all right, that's it, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I love the RPG hobby. I love listening to RPG podcasts of people playing, and I love watching Critical Role, and I love buying the books, and I want to be an entertaining game master. I don't know, on the practical aspects of it, I keep seeming to trip up. So folks, if you've got any ideas, if you've been in this sort of situation before, I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think, and if you can even reckon that there are some questions that you would need to ask of me in order to help me try and sort this out, I would be most grateful. So thank you very much for your going on 9 minutes of time, and I'd love to hear from you.